In New Orleans, the streets don't just have addresses, they have stories. Some are whispered on front porches, some are sung over brass bands, and some are perfect for sharing around the family table tonight. Let's pull up a chair and dive into a few local legends and bits of folklore that shape the spirit of our city. These are tales you can tell the kids, the grandparents, or your out-of-town friends who think New Orleans is just Mardi Gras and beignets. Number 1, the Lady of the LaLaurie Mansion. On a quiet stretch of Royal Street in the French Quarter stands one of the most talked about homes in New Orleans. Locals say a mysterious woman in a long dress sometimes appears in the upper windows, watching the street below. Over the years, people have sworn they've heard footsteps in empty halls and felt sudden cold spots drifting through the rooms. While the darker details of the house's past are for grown-up conversations, families often share the lighter version, that some houses simply remember everything that ever happened in them. In a city this old, the walls might not talk, but they definitely listen. Number 2, the Axeman and his note to the city. Back in 1919, New Orleans received a letter from a mysterious figure known as the Axeman. In it, he made a strange promise. On a certain night, any home playing jazz music would be safe. So what did the city do? From shotgun houses to corner bars, families and neighbors filled the warm air with jazz. Pianos clanged, horns blared, and record players spun into the night. It turned a moment of fear into one huge improvised street concert. The legend reminds us of something very real about New Orleans. When things get scary, we tend to turn up the music and face it together. Number 3, the friendly ghosts of the French Quarter. Ask almost anyone who grew up here and they'll tell you, the French Quarter is full of ghosts, but most of them are more curious than creepy. Some people say they've seen a man in an old-fashioned suit tipping his hat in Jackson Square, then vanishing into thin air. Others talk about a playful spirit at a balcony apartment who likes to flick lights on and off, as if saying, "Don't forget about me." Kids hear these stories and learn an unspoken New Orleans rule. The past is always walking right beside us. Our streets, balconies, and courtyards aren't just places we live. They're places where stories overlap, generation after generation. Number 4, the Rougarou of the Bayous. Travel a little beyond the city into the swamps and bayous, and you'll hear about the Rougarou, a shape-shifting creature from Cajun folklore. He's said to roam the marshes at night, watching from the edges of the water. For generations, parents used the Rougarou as a gentle warning: respect the swamp, don't wander off alone, and listen to your elders. Behind the spooky story is a simple truth. New Orleanians and our neighbors have always lived closely with nature. The Rougarou is really a reminder that our beautiful wetlands deserve both caution and care. Number 5, Marie Laveau, the Voodoo Queen. Walk through certain parts of the city and you'll hear whispers of Marie Laveau, the legendary Voodoo Queen of New Orleans. She was known as a spiritual leader, a healer, and someone people turned to for help and hope. Neighbors lined up at her door, asking for prayers, potions, or just a listening ear. Her story blends faith, medicine, African and Caribbean traditions, and the deep Catholic roots of the city. What many forget is that beneath the legend was a woman devoted to her community, proof that in New Orleans, myth and everyday kindness often live under the same roof. When you put these stories together, the haunted mansions, mysterious letters, playful ghosts, bayou creatures, and legendary queens, you start to see the real magic of New Orleans. Our legends aren't just about being spooky. They're about music, community, respect for nature, and the way families pass down wisdom without ever opening a textbook. So tonight, when everyone gathers around your table, try sharing one of these tales. Ask the kids which story they'd want to see out their own front window: the jazz-filled night, the friendly French Quarter ghost, or the Rougarou lurking by the bayou. In a city like ours, home isn't just where you live, it's where the stories never stop. If you love local legends and real New Orleans life, stick around. There are plenty more stories where these came from.